Well, welcome back to Changemakers, the podcast where we explore the critical aspects of organizational development and change. I'm your host, Dr. Obi Paul Byram, and in today's episode, we'll be discussing Chapter 10, Interpersonal and Group Process Approaches. This chapter dives deep into how people work together and how OD interventions can enhance group dynamics for greater organizational effectiveness. So let's start with a quick story. Imagine a global marketing team at a fast-paced tech company. Now, despite having talented members, the team is struggling to collaborate effectively. Meetings are chaotic, deadlines are missed, and conflict is brewing under the surface. The company brings in an OD consultant to assess the situation. After observing their interactions, the consultant diagnoses poor communication and a lack of clear roles as the root of the problem. Through process consultation and team building interventions, the team learns to communicate better, resolve conflicts, and collaborate more effectively, resulting in a dramatic improvement in performance. Now, this is an example of interpersonal and group process approaches and how they can transform a team's dynamics and drive success. Segment 1, Understanding Interpersonal and Group Process Interventions. So let's begin by breaking down what we mean by interpersonal and group process interventions. These approaches focus on helping individuals and teams improve their interactions to work together more effectively. The key areas include communication, group problem solving, decision-making, leadership, and managing conflict. Now, for instance, think about a legal firm where two senior partners are in conflict over the direction of the firm. This tension starts affecting the entire team, leading to poor decision-making in a toxic work environment. A third-party OD consultant steps in, facilitating a structured conversation between the partners. With guidance, they learn to resolve their issues, leading to a more harmonious and productive firm. Now, this illustrates the power of group process interventions, especially when tackling interpersonal conflicts. Segment 2, the role of process consultation. Now let's discuss process consultation, a core OD intervention aimed at helping teams diagnose and improve their own behavior. The goal of process consultation is to empower individuals and teams to identify and solve their own problems. Think about a time when you were part of a dysfunctional team. How did poor communication or unclear roles affect the team's performance? Now imagine how different things could have been there if there was a process in place to improve these dynamics. Shine's process consultation principles teach us that sometimes the best way to help is not by offering solutions, but by guiding teams to discover the solutions themselves. This brings a long-term reliance or self-reliance and healthier group dynamics. Segment 3, the Johari window and improving communication. A popular tool used in process intervention is the Johari window, a model that helps teams improve communication by making hidden behaviors and blind spots visible. It's all about self-disclosure and feedback. I remember a time when an executive team in a major retail company was struggling with hidden frustrations. Each leader had blind spots they weren't aware of how their behaviors affected others. Now, using the Johari window, the team engaged in honest feedback sessions, revealing hidden issues and improving overall communication. As a result, the team became more transparent, leading to better decision making. Now, when conflicts arise in teams, they often require a third-party intervention to help facilitate the resolution. This process allows conflicting parties to interact directly with one another and find a path to solution. Let me give you an example from a high-stakes law firm. Two partners couldn't agree on the firm's future strategy, causing internal strife. Now, a third-party OD consultant stepped in to mediate the conflict. Through the structured interventions, the partners were able to communicate openly, resolve their differences, and align on shared vision of the firm. This has not only improved their relationship, but it also saved the firm from falling apart. The importance of team building. Well, finally, we need to talk about the role of team building in OD. Effective team building interventions can significantly improve how group work together, helping each clarify roles, build trust, and achieve their goals. Think about your own experiences working in teams. What role does trust play in the team's success? How might team building activities help improve relationships within a group? Now, in our globalized work environment, teams often span different cultures and time zones. Tailoring team building exercises to address these diverse dynamics is crucial to the success of the intervention. Now, before we close out today's episode, I'd like you to reflect on how interpersonal and group process approaches could be applied to teams you've been a part of. How might process consultation, the Johari window, or team building exercises have improved your team's effectiveness? Let's link this back to our learning objectives. First, understanding the diagnostic issues of interpersonal and group process interventions. Second, illustrate the principles of process consultation. Third, describe third-party conflict resolution. And fourth, evaluate the impact of team-building interventions. Take a moment and think about how you could implement these interventions in your current or future roles. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode on interpersonal and group process approaches. We've explored how these foundational OD interventions can enhance communication, resolve conflict, and build stronger teams. In our next episode, we'll be discussing how to manage large-scale organizational change through system-wide interventions. Until then, keep making positive change in your world. This episode of Changemakers was based on Chapter 10 of Organizational Development and Change by Thomas Cummings and Christopher G. Worley, 11th edition, published by Cengage. Music was provided by Audio Coffee, and this podcast was developed with the assistance of ChatGPT, an AI tool used to help develop the podcast script. Now, until next time, keep making change happen.